Hey, Kathy Joyner, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Well, good.
There you are.
Hello, Mrs. Moffat.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Can't
Well,
complain.
I like your new backdrop. You're in a classroom.
I am. I am.
Well, I'm going to have to learn how to do that.
Well, I just learned it today. So
Well,
just today. Well, I learned it before, but I just didn't have the ability. Now I figured it out.
oh,
So
good for you.
y'all doing all right?
Doing great. Doing really fine.
Good. Good, good, good.
Looks like everybody's hair has grown out a bit.
I actually got my appointment in though right before, and then I had a, special invitation to get something done later. But anyway, well, I'll be glad when this thing's over with. I hate to tell you.
Oh, I know it. I'd much rather be sitting there in the boardroom.
You know, I was just telling them I had a doctor's appointment that was just kind of a routine, normal kind of thing, nothing serious. Now I didn't have to drive to Ocala and back. It took 5 seconds, so it was nice. But you know, so that was nice. Anyway, still got charged $45, but you know.
Was it an in the office visit?
It would have been, but no, they did it over. I did it over something like Zoom. It wasn't Zoom.
Hey, if I could, just a reminder, the YouTube stream has already started. So we are live on the internet.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Williams, and hello, Mr. Shirley.
Oh, hello. All is well?
All is well.
I see Miss Moffat's in outer space out there somewhere. I see that. There she comes. She's floating back in. Hi, John. And I see Chris. I don't see Jennifer.
She was there a second ago.
I'm here.
There's Jennifer.
Yeah. Can y'all see me?
And
Oh,
I
I
love
take
the
my
background.
background because of your background.
Yeah. I was going with that. I had the outer
And
space
Miss
one
Joyner.
anyway, so
Miss
you
Joyner, are
switched
you
yours, I
here?
changed mine.
Anybody see Miss Joyner?
Yeah, she's here. I mean, she was just here a second ago, so she's somewhere in there.
Hello, Mrs. Boyette. I see you are traveling again.
Hey, Miss Moss. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, good. Hey, Mr. Williams.
Hi.
Jennifer, you changed from the classroom to a vacation background. It's beautiful.
I know.
You having a good time there?
Yep.
Sapper.
Everything's very quaint.
Good.
I think you'll have these little ghost images show up in your background every now and then, though. That's
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Norris. I see you have the
Hi.
flag. I see you have the flag behind you now.
I do. It's all ready to go. We're about to get started, and I just want to remind you before we do to state your name when you vote. So we're gonna, let's see, mine says 5:30, so can you stand for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag
of the United States
of
of America
America.
and to the republic
Republic
which
which
stands
is
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Shirley is going to lead us with prayer.
all right. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the day and the many blessings that you've given us. We thank you for the opportunity that we have to serve the citizens and students of Sumter County and the staff that has worked so hard during this tenuous time. We pray that you'll bless those endeavors, that you'll protect us from harm, and that you'll give us strength and wisdom to always do the right things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, I call this meeting to order May 19th, 2020. And we'll start with the 1.21. I'm going to be reading this off the paper, so bear with me. 1.21, items removed from the agenda. 1.21A, items added to the agenda are 7.05, 10.05, 14.02. Items moved to another location on the agenda. There are none. 1.22, vote to adopt the agenda as recommended by the superintendent.
Sally Moss, so moved.
Second, David Williams.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Jennifer Boyette.
Motion
Sally
passes.
Moss.
Motion passes. 1.23, vote to approve the consent agenda as recommended by the superintendent.
So moved by David Williams.
Second, Jennifer Boyette.
Motion by David Williams, second by Ms. Boyette. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Sally Moss, yes.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy is the only one we're not hearing.
Kathy, I think you muted your mic.
You should hear me now?
Yeah.
Motion passes.
Okay.
Yeah, we couldn't get you at Kathy. 03.04, resolutions for retirement, 2020 retirement. That's the presentations that I'm sure you saw in your packet. I don't know if Ms. Moffett wants to say anything to that, but.
That's Ms. Whitman.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Whitman.
Yeah.
But I think it's all clear as to what.
I would move to approve those as they're presented there in the documents.
Motion by Ms. Kathy Joyner,
Second, David Williams.
second by David Williams. All those in favor?
Sally Moss, yes.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes.
Motion passes. We have student forum 4.01. Any student here like to say anything? Nope. 4.02, any citizens in the audience that would like to speak? Seeing none.
Ms. Norris, I know
Yes.
there's, Mike Howell is out there, I think, and just want to
Oh,
congratulate
yeah, he
him.
wanted to have a speech. Did you want to?
No, listen, I've known Mike since he was in 7th grade. Don't ever give him a microphone.
Oh, okay, forget that.
But congratulations,
Okay.
Mike. He's going to be a nice addition to our transportation department.
Yes, he is. Thank you for coming tonight. I actually have people here, board members, in front of me. Okay. Thanks for coming, Mike. 7.01, Mr. Suber, small project architect contract dissolution. 7.05, Ms. Christian I Station 2020, 2021. 7.05, Ms. Christian.
Madam
Explore-
Chair, Sally Moss, Madam Chair,
Yes.
may I suggest something?
Yeah.
I just, a bunch of static here. Since we have so many contracts and agreements, I think it would be better if we did them, since there are multiple ones for the same staff members, if we did them according to the staff members instead of grouping them all together as one. Some of them are very involved, and in case anybody has any questions, I know I have discussed some with staff members to get answers, but I just think that because there are so many that we should do it more on an individual basis based on the staff members
Okay,
and
so
group them together.
is that okay with all the other board members?
Fine with me.
Okay, so we'll do all of Ms. Christian's at once. And you see those in front of you. I just said the 2020-21 iStation. The next one was Explore Learning Reflex and Gizmos. And the next one was 2021 Seminole County School Board. And one more, which was Curriculum Associates Price Quote 2020. So, Eric's also, and that went with Eric's. The first one was Eric's. So that'll be with Ms. Christian's, which is small project architect contract dissolution. So do I have a
Motion to approve. Motion to approve Jennifer Boyette.
Second, David
Second.
Williams.
Okay, motion by Ms. Boyette, second by Mr. Williams. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Sally
Aye.
Moss, yes.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes.
Motion passes. Okay, next we have Miss Dustin's, which are 7.05 also, which is Community Rehab Associates Agreement, Achievement Rehabilitation through Therapeutic Intervention Agreement, and Karen Reno Agreement. Those are Miss Dustin's. Any discussion on that before we vote? Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved by David Williams.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Williams,
Second by Sally Moss.
second by Ms. Moss. Any discussion on those? All those in favor?
Aye.
It's
Sally
hard
Moss,
to,
yes.
it's hard to get out of that rhythm.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Okay, motion
Kathy Joyner, yes.
motion passes. Okay, next we have Miss Goodson. I just see one for her, the MOU, Family Solutions for Sexual Risk Avoidance Education Grant Program. I need a motion.
Sally Moss, yes.
Motion
Motion
by Ms.
to,
Moss.
motion,
Motion by Ms. Moss,
Jennifer Boyette, second.
second by Ms. Boyette. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Sally Moss, yes.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes.
Is that all? Motion passes. The next is Mr. Shirley, 2020 K through 12 Florida LLC contract and 2021 virtual franchise agreement with Virtual Learning Lab MOU and Blended Learning Community MOU. And the other one is 2021 Pearson Grad Point Agreement.
Move to approve. Kathy Joyner.
Second
Second,
by
David.
Sally Moss.
Motion by Kathy Joyner, second by Ms. Moss. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Sally Moss, yes.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have 7.05, another one with Mr. Suber, Power Buying Group Agreement.
Just skip Miss Strickland.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Strickland. 21st CCLC Virtual Summer Camp Intervention.
She had already, she also added another one too, I think, didn't she?
Yes, that was one of the additions.
Yes. Motion to approve, Sally Moss.
It's a grant, not a contract, so.
Oh, sorry. Motion to approve, Sally Moss.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Motion by Ms. Moss, second by
Kathy Joyner, second.
Kathy Joyner. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Sally Moss, yes.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have Mr. Suber, Power Buying Group Agreement.
And did we get Mr. Suber on 7.01 Small Project Architect? Did we make a motion on that?
Yes. Yes, we did. We did that
All right.
up front.
Want to be sure.
Okay.
I would move to approve that. Kathy Joyner for
Second,
Suber.
David Williams.
Okay. A motion by Kathy Joyner, second by Mr. Williams. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Sally Moss, yes.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have Ms. Whitman, Instructure Canvas 2021.
Motion to approve, Sally Moss.
Move to approve by Ms. Moss, second by,
Jennifer
Kathy Joyner,
Boyette,
second.
or Ms.
I
Ryan.
didn't hear, Jennifer Boyette. Okay, any discussion on that? All those in
We,
favor?
just a comment, general comment. I've worked with Canvas for several years, and I'm excited. I hope the district enjoys the LMS platform. It's been a very easy system to work in.
Thank you, Ms. Boyette.
Okay, all in favor?
Sally Moss, yes.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have Mr. Ferguson, 2021 CTE articulation agreement with LSSC.
Motion to approve, Kathy Joyner.
Second, David.
Motion by Ms. Joyner, second by Mr. Williams. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Sally Moss, yes.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes. Not
David
sure where Mr. There he is.
Motion passes. 7.50 is Smith, 2019-2020. Request approval of amendment to professional services agreement with Innovative Emergency Management Incorporation.
Motion to approve. I have a question. Is Mrs. Smith on board here?
Yes, I am.
Hi.
No,
This is the same company we did the FEMA with, right?
right. And this is just expanding. We contracted with them with a grant, with the Restart grant that did a lot of the scanning. And that was to make sure we had our timesheets and our payroll in line. And then when COVID hit, we called on them. So this is amending it, but FEMA will pay the administrative. The most that could come out of the district's budget is $4,000. And this is a ceiling, not a definite.
Is
But
that
we have
for,
I'm sorry.
is that for any of, for all of the COVID expenses? I don't know what would go under
This
the
is-
COVID expenses, you know.
Currently, it's we're working with all the timesheets. We have now on our an 8 week of collecting timesheets from home, on site, wherever people are working for 850 employees times 8 weeks. So, and then going through the approval process. But the only thing we're sure we'll be able to bill for is the overtime in tech services.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Moss,
Second by Kathy Joyner.
second by Ms. Joyner. Any other discussion?
I just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Smith for answering my question earlier, and I appreciate it, and it's a
No
good
problem.
service that we have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Sally Moss, yes.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes.
Okay, a motion passes. I have something on the computer that says I can abort it. Should I? It's in the middle here, just abort. Okay, got it. All right. Facilities 8.01, facilities activity report.
Mr. Suber.
Did you see it in the,
Good evening.
oh, there he is. Hey.
Hi there. I'm opening mine up right now.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
Now.
More volume.
Okay. Okay, great. Under new construction, we're pouring footers at South Sumter High School Stadium today. And we're pressing manufacturers to expedite our materials as businesses are starting to ramp up their workforce. And in maintenance, we're continuing our summer flooring jobs right now. Hopefully be done with those by the end of this month. And taking care of general requests with our work orders and all for the schools. That
Thank you.
concludes the activity report.
Thank you, Mr. Suber.
Thank you. And so next we got a 9.03, 2019-2020 budget amendment for April 2020, number 41 through 46.
Motion to approve, Jennifer Boyette.
Sally Moss, second.
Motion by Ms. Boyette, second by Ms. Moss. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes, Sally Moss.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes.
Motion passes. Next, we go to 11.02, summer EOC grad camps. And 11.04, Ms. Christian, promotion for good cause, 19, 20, 20, 11.50, Mr. Shirley, Black Literature English course.
Motion to
If you have-
approve.
If you have any questions, Dr. McCray is in the audience for 11.50.
Okay. Right now, we have a motion by Mr. Williams. And if I get a second, we'll see if we have discussion.
Second, Jennifer Boyette.
Second by Ms. Boyette. Any discussion?
Sally Moss has a comment.
Okay.
With the approval of the 1150 A. Shirley, the Black Literature English course, I just wanted to make sure that this is not saying that we think that this should be done, or it should be approved by the state, or it will be used by Sumter County. It is just giving our approval for it to go to the state for them to look at it.
Correct.
Okay. 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 Any other discussion on that? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye, Sally Moss.
Yes, Jennifer Boyette.
Yes, David Williams.
Yes, Kathy Joyner?
Motion passes.
Ms.
Okay.
Norris, before we continue, I should have said this earlier, but can we get Miss Strickland to talk to us a little bit about 11.02 and just give us a rundown?
Okay. I already did the motion passes on that, didn't I? Okay. Yes, Ms. Strickland, are you there? Maybe not. There she is.
I am.
They want to know about the summer EOC grad camp. An explanation on that.
We're working
just a kind of an update on where everything's at.
Well, right now we have sent out registration forms and informational flyers to all of the students who would be eligible for the grad camps. And we have asked for registration to be complete by the 22nd, which would be Friday, so that we could make a better decision about what we need for staffing for our students. Right now we have about 500 kids who are taking Algebra 1 who need to take the EOC, because the EOC for algebra is a graduation requirement. The other EOC camps are for students who are interested in the scholar designation. And so that would be completely optional for them. It's not a graduation requirement. But we didn't want to eliminate an opportunity for students where they've been working in their coursework now, but won't have an opportunity to take a test that's high stakes for them until September or October.
Thanks, Ms. Strickland.
Thank you, Ms. We have some background noise somewhere along the line. I'm not sure what's going on. But moving to grants, we have 1402 addition, Ms. Strickland, 21st Century Community Learning Centers Grant Expanded Learning Opportunities, Webster Elementary. And 14.02, which is an addition, Ms. Strickland, 21st CCLC, statewide request for proposal after school programs, the Villages Charter School.
Motion to approve, Sally Moss.
Second, David Williams.
Moved by Ms. Sally Moss, second by Mr. Williams. Any discussion? I have a question on that, Ms. Strickland. The after-school program sounded really good, and that was for 2 different schools. And it looked like the Villages was going to get like it for every school they had. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. The state has identified schools that are eligible for the 21st Century program, for the after-school program, and the Villages Charter was one of them based on their students with disabilities and where they were meeting with student achievement. And they did apply to serve students at all 3 sites, elementary, middle, and high school.
Yeah, I saw that. And then Webster was the only school, the elementary here.
Yes, Webster Elementary was the only elementary school that met the criteria to be eligible to apply for the 21st Century, for that one that's called the Expanded Learning Opportunities. That is for before school, during school, or after school. And so Mrs. Shea and the district team felt like that would be a really nice fit for Webster Elementary next year.
Sounded really good. I think that'll be very beneficial.
That's a 3-year grant if we receive it. These are competitive grant applications. They're not entitlements. So if we receive it, it will be a 3-year grant, $150,000 a year for that school.
Oh, wonderful.
And we expect to hear something by July. Of course, we'd like to know something sooner so that we can get these big plans underway, because we just feel like it's something that can be something that makes students and teachers and families proud for their students to have masterminds.
Right.
Mrs. Strickland, this is Sally Moss. How many years is the after school program grant for the charter school?
That's a 5-year grant, and that is contingent upon student participation and student enrollment in the program and meeting criteria. And so it's very heavily reported with data for students. And so the funding could go down depending on student attendance.
They've had this before, right?
They have not. We have it in the district now. We have it at Wildwood Elementary, Webster Elementary, and Wildwood Middle High School. But this is our last summer of our 5-year grant.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Strickland. So all those in favor?
Yes, Sally Moss.
Jennifer Boyette, yes.
David Williams, yes.
Kathy Joyner, yes.
Motion passes. 17.15 Board Rules 2020, set hearing date and time, place for June 16th, 2020, 5:30 p.m. Bushnell, Florida, emergency rule. 17.16, Mr. Shirley, request to waive portions of student progression policies for 2019-20 due to the COVID-19. 17.17, Ms. Moffitt, Code of Student Conduct 2021, set date, time, and place of hearing, June 16th, 2020, Bushnell School Board Meeting Room, 5:30 p.m. 17.50, FSBA, to appoint the legislative member for 2021. And I'll take a motion on this in a second, but I have a discussion, so go ahead. Do I have a motion?
Oh, motion to approve Jennifer Boyette.
Okay.
A second.
Motion by
David Williams,
Mr. Boyette, second by Mr. Williams. Okay, the FSBA past director from Pasco County called me, a board member, and Sumter County did not come to the last meeting when they did the election. And we were supposed to be the director for District 16, and they went ahead and did it because we were not there. So they asked if this year we could possibly send in, we have to send in a nominated name to be nominated for the director, and then they'll have they will be the alternative. Pasco County will be the alternative, and we will have the directorship. So be thinking this has to be approved when on here. Okay. Okay, Marla sent you an email on this. So, and you should have gotten one from FSBA. So has everything on it. So did everybody hear me on that?
Yeah, we got a tremendous amount of feedback coming from someplace.
But did you hear my whole thing or not?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'll just go ahead now, since we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Sally Moss,
Discussion,
yes.
Madam Chair,
Okay.
discussion.
Uh-huh.
Would Mr. Shirley have a moment to comment on the request to waive portions of the student progression policies, just for anyone that's viewing out there with the COVID-19 and everything going on? I think it'd be appropriate to kind of just touch base on this.
Okay.
He's on. Mr. Shirley, you're up.
It's not. Yeah. Okay, everybody's been muted. We're trying to get rid of the sound thing till Mr. Shirley gets on there. And I don't see him yet.
He's there somewhere. Hang on.
Okay.
While we're waiting on Mr. Shirley, does 17.50 need to be amended based on our earlier discussion before we approve it, or
No.
that's a separate matter? Okay.
Yes.
I'm here. I can hear you.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. So what was the question?
Miss, oh, I can't hear him.
I'm getting bad reception here.
They want you to explain the waivers due to COVID-19 to the student progression plan.
Gotcha. Okay. So in our student progression plan, we have a requirement that if they miss a certain the 10 days, then they're required to take a final exam in order to get credit. So that's one of the things that we're wanting to waive, so that we're not trying to give final exams in a virtual world. And then I'm trying to pull up the agenda. Can you remind me what the other two? I remember there were 3 of them.
It's 17.16.
The first one was if a student does not sit for an AP exam, they lose weighted GPA status. The second one was any student with 10 or more absences must take and pass the final exam, which you addressed. And the third one was requiring any student interested in dual enrollment to first pass the standardized assessment for algebra and ELA.
Yes. All right. So the AP exam one, due to the fact that they're having to test independently at home, and talking with the schools, they didn't feel that that was a fair thing to hold the students to, where they would actually lose weighted GPA if they did not take the test, because in this particular situation, the testing is having to be done online by the students. And so there were concerns about if the testing submissions did not go through, the students would then be penalized. So that's the other one. And then, and this year, unlike in past years, we won't be charged by College Board for a test that the students do not take. So that was that piece. And then what was the third one, Mr. Shirley?
I gotta find it again.
Requiring any student
The dual
more absences.
Dual enrollment, right?
And sitting for an AP exam, losing weighted GPA.
Right. That's the one that I just spoke to. The dual enrollment piece, that we just have in student progression as one of the additional dual enrollments that a student has to have met the 10th grade FSA ELA requirement, but that test was not offered this year. So there's no way for a student to have passed it to be eligible. So those are the 3 board rule waivers through student progression that we're requesting.
It's just a 1-year waiver.
Right. Yeah, for this year only.
Any questions on that? Because it is a waiver of policy, so we certainly want to spend some time with the board.
I just felt with everything going on, anyone watching probably needs to be good for them to hear a little bit more detail. So thank you for that.
Yeah, sorry for the technical delay there.
Okay, so we have
I think we need to
finished
vote.
all of the 17. Is that any other discussion?
Did we get a motion in second, Ms.
We
Norris?
did.
We did. We need to vote. All those in favor? We need to vote. All those in
Jennifer
favor?
Boyette, yes.
Yes, Sally Moss.
David Williams, yes.
And I don't see Kathy anymore.
Ms. Joyner, are you there?
I have to unmute.
There, I was rearranging because I might have been giving you guys some feedback.
Okay.
So I didn't want everybody to see me in videotape rearranging my office setup.
So
I was listening in, and thank you for Mr. Shirley for explaining that, and for Superintendent Shirley for mentioning that because it was policy. We were talking about the waiver because of COVID-19. So I was listening in.
What is your vote on that?
And I would say yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. And on the FSBA, going back to that, when they called me, she said that there's only like 2 meetings a year on that, for your information. There's only
Where
like
do
2 a year.
Where do they meet? Do they meet
It's usually
down in
around,
Tampa?
it's usually around the legislative days too, you know, so that's when that usually is. So anyway, 19.50, Human Resource Development, Reading Endorsement Add-on Program 2020 to 2025.
Motion to approve, Jennifer Boyette.
Second, Kathy Joyner.
Motion by Ms. Boyette, second by Ms. Joyner. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes, Sally Moss.
Yes, Jennifer Boyette.
Yes, David Williams.
Yes, Kathy Joyner.
Motion passes. Next, we go to 90 reports, 90.01 staff reports.
All right, any staff reports that are not, we don't have any on the agenda. So staff members, if you have one to make, just pop in.
Miss Moffett has one.
Okay, Ms. Moffett.
Okay, actually I have a couple things to talk to you about. I just sent you an email in reference to a car drawing. The sheriff has donated a vehicle to the graduating seniors of South Sumter High School and Wildwood Middle High School. And we will be drawing next March 26th at 10 a.m. here in the parking lot with the vehicle, Facebook Live and media. And the sheriff will draw one name, and that child will get a vehicle that they have in their possession, and it'll be detailed and ready to go. The Villages also has received one. Next, staff is working on plans to reopen school. What would that look like? We have looked at kind of a 3-phase approach. If we're allowed to open in July, face-to-face, we're going to try making a plan for that. And then staff is working also with for August. And then what would it look like if we have to shut down for a period of time due to a COVID outbreak or something like that? So we'll be getting those plans to you in the very near future. We're working with district staff, site administrators, and for the big plan for August, when it affects everybody, we're having teachers on board as well. And non-instructs, one person from every school will be represented from the 2 unions. Next, we scholarships. Ms. Moss worked very hard, and Mr. Williams on the golf tournament, which we know was canceled. We received 11 applications, and those students will receive $1,500 for a total of $16,500. And they will. We worked with the schools along with Ms. Goodson, who has a lot of scholarships that are going out. Once the kids cross the stage or get their diplomas, there's a table set up, and all the awards, district honors, and scholarships will be handed to them after they cross the stage. So that's how that will work. The golf scholarships will be in one of our golf bags, and so it'll stand out just a little bit. Next, I was asked to discuss graduation a little bit. Wildwood Middle High School, is Saturday the 30th at 10 a.m. And it will be on a stage back behind the gym, and the cars will enter from the football field side, back where we used to go out for graduation. That's where the cars are going to come in. So we'll be able to park up near the front of this gym, and they'll be parked in rows, alphabetical order, and the kids will come up, and it'll be kind of like a movie theater type or a drive-in theater type, row by row with the cars. And they're going to broadcast on an FM station, and that they will also be practicing social distancing, of course. At South Sumter High School, it's real important if you're going to that one that you need to be in the gym by 4 p.m. because of the parade of seniors that's going to start from where the old sheriff's department used to be and come around in front of the school, and they're using all that parking lot where you will not be able to get to the gym if you do not show up at 4 o'clock. You can still park where we usually park there between the softball field and the gym like we normally park. You can still park there, but you need to be there by 4 o'clock or you won't be able to get to that spot or any place else because they're going to leave the traffic in through all of the loops in the parking lots. And that, again, they'll have kids come in or families come in. They're going to be spaced 15 feet apart. So there'll be like so many families at a time in the gym, taking their turn, again, going to a table, getting their awards. The speeches have been pre-recorded, and the kids will be able to listen to them in the car while they're waiting their turn to go up. And it sounds like everything is planned. The sheriff's department is helping, of course, with traffic. And it's going to be 2 good days.
That's exciting.
Sounds like it. I have one question, Ms. Moffett. If we park in front of the gym in Wildwood, will there be a gate there open for us to walk back? Oh, Mr. Norris is gonna.
There will be, and I'll make sure that happens.
Okay.
There, and I'll make sure
Mr. Norris is gonna make sure.
Like at 8:30, so he'll be there before us.
Okay. All right. Any questions on that?
I think that
yes.
was asked to cover. Yes, ma'am.
Sounds well thought out.
Sally Moss has a question.
Okay.
Who is going to be on stage at Wildwood and who's going to be on stage at South Sumter?
I do not know.
I will be on both. I volunteer to be on both. I want to be there. So it'll be me and probably Mr. Shirley, right?
And I'll be at both,
I
but
think
whether
the
I'm
plan
up there or
is-
not.
I think the
just-
plan is for other board members to alternate up on the stage, and so we'll work that out, or the school will work that out with you so that periodically during the presentation, and if there's room, then we'll get as many board members up there as we can, but with the understanding that we may have to rotate.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ms. Moffett.
You're welcome. Any other questions, just let us know.
Okay. Is that all for you? Is that all for you? Is that all for you? Is that all your reports?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I
All
guess
right.
other staff member, yeah.
Okay, any other staff reports? Ms. Smith or Ms. Whitman or Ms. Christian? All right, any other staff members? Okay, well, I've got a couple, and staff members, to feel free to jump in whenever you want to. I want to thank everybody for their hard work during this time. Staff has absolutely hit a home run. Everything from the tech department, transportation, food service. My goodness, we're feeding so many youngins. And so I want to congratulate all of them, thank them for that. Staff has done a great job. We're beginning to kind of pull people back in. It's been 8 weeks. The last time teachers had their kids were Mr. Williams' birthday. And so it's been a while. And so we're beginning to pull staff back in to get some things done that we need to get done, one of which is coming up with a plan to reopen school. We want to start, as Ms. Moffett said, with our July activities. And then assuming we start back August 10th or whatever that date is, we want to be ready for that. And of course, there are lots of contingencies. For example, if we just get to start back carte blanche, everything's good. We have that. However, what if we have one school that happens to have an outbreak? And so we're only opening the other schools, and that one school is out. We have to have a plan for that. There's a district spike in cases because it is expected as the district and the county and the state and the nation opens back up, there will be more cases. It only makes sense that as people get out and about more, there's going to be more contagion and more people are going to get sick. So we're trying to have a plan for all of that. There are things we struggle with, several things, and you will see that by the next board meeting, we'll have a little more flesh to the bone of our plan. But there are things that we haven't figured out yet, like how do you socially distance on a bus with 60 kids on a bus? And we don't have that one figured out, but as you know, Mr. Norris is in charge of buses effective July 1st. So we know he's got that. And so there are other issues like that we're going to have to kind of wade through as we begin this process. Cleanliness control. We have head custodians, we have principals who kind of watch the custodians or supervise the custodians along the way. Is that going to be enough when when the consequences are so high? Now, are we going to have to increase our staff in the area of cleanliness and supervisory capabilities of the custodial staff? We're kind of wading through all of that. One of the governor's requests in his plan one of the commissioner's requests in his plan to reopen schools was to have reliable childcare. How do we do that? What does that look like? Right now, all of our childcare for our staff members is pretty much outside the district's control. Does that mean we need to have childcare on each campus so that we can provide it internally? What that looks like yet, but that'll be another thing that we will wrestle with. Things like athletic events. Can you have a bleacher full of people at a football game? We don't know. If they do they have to wear a mask? We don't know that either. So there are just all kinds of issues that are out there that this committee is going to be working on. Money. I don't know if Ms. Smith wants to get in on this later on, but I don't know what to tell you. I don't believe the budget that the legislature approved will be the ultimate budget that we get. We know there are some federal dollars that should supplement whatever that loss of revenue is, but will it be enough? As you know, we have been very frugal in staffing at this point, but we also know that we can't do that forever. Some of the positions we're doing without, we may be able to do without for a little while. We can't do without it forever. And so we know that as well. And so we'll be wrestling with that. Ms. Smith, when this is over, I don't know if you want to say anything about budget or not, but she's working diligently on that, and she's looking at plans to, oh my gosh, what if we do have to cut even more? Congratulations to the new principal of Wildwood Elementary School, Micah Cook. And he's from Alabama, and so we're glad to have him on board. And today, LaTanya Miller was selected as the new AP at South Central High School, and we're glad to have her on board as well. She's been an administrative intern at Wildwood Middle High School, and Mr. Graybill and his staff have done a good job of training them. So we're glad to have them, and of course, you know about the other changes that are taking place. Any other staff members have comments? Graduation's going to look different, folks. You know that. I'm probably going to do a little different graduation. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Any other staff comments? I'll turn it back over to the board chair.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but
Everybody's getting a little feedback again. You might want to.
It's not there. Okay, everybody is muted at this time. So just to let you know, you have to unmute when you want to talk. Next, then we have 90.02 Sumter County Education Association. Anyone here for that? Nope. 90.03 Sumter County Essential Support Personnel. No one. 90.04 Attorney's Report. Nothing at this time, which is a good thing. 90.05 Board Member Comments. We'll start with Ms. Moss. She's at the top of the screen. And you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. Sally Moss here. First of all, I'd like to thank Mrs. Moffett very much for giving the update on the scholarships. I had talked to her earlier about it, and I'm very happy that we're able to give $1,500 scholarships instead of the $1,000 scholarships, because we had only 11 apply. So that is, I'm very happy about that. But there is someone that really deserves a big thanks, and that is Trina Terry. Trina has just been remarkable with how she stepped into Christy's shoes and took over. And she has just been such a big help that I just wanted to give her the credit where credit was due. And, the same as Mr. Shirley said, thank you to all the staff and what they have done. I think, we are definitely the leaders in this field of distant learning. And I think that we will probably be the #1 in the field for setting up a way to reopen our schools so that it'll be safe for everybody. And I just cannot say how proud I am to be a member of the Sumter County School Board and working with such incredible people. I am just thrilled, and I tell it to everybody that I meet. So thank all of you. And one day we too will be all together again.
Thank you, Ms. Moss. Ms. Boyette?
Hey, yeah, I really think our school district has done their part to help minimize the impact of COVID on our community. And we've done a great job of minimizing the risk of exposure among unidentified carriers. And I want to also thank everyone who's been closest to the problem. Our staff, our teachers, district leaders, assistant superintendent, and superintendent. Everyone's been very responsive in modifying operations. And we know that virtual operations also come with the potential of widening learning gaps, especially with our vulnerable students, our students in poverty, our English, our ELL students. So I think the extended supports we approved tonight are going to offer the targeted support to help ensure these students are prepared and ready for the next grade level. And as Mr. Shirley talked about, while there's an urgency for our schools to reopen, there's also many unknowns that are going to impact the type of K-12 instructional continuity that we provide. I was tuned into a meeting this week where one person said there's an urgency but not a rush, and I thought that was very well said. Because like Mr. Shirley was talking about, there's so many unknowns. For me, one of the big questions is how are you going to reconcile social distancing with optimal class size and efficient bus routes? And I did have a question. The $750 million from the CARES Act, are those that's coming to schools, are those Title I funds, or are they, how flexible can we be with those funds? Or are they classified as Title I? Does anyone know?
I can't answer that specifically. Ms. Smith may be able to, but we hear that it's going to be distributed like Title I funds, but hopefully there's going to be some flexibility. So Ms. Smith, you want to address that?
Well, I'm on a weekly conference call with 11 other finance directors across the state and Tallahassee. And every week they ask Tallahassee if we've applied and what the status is. Tomorrow will be my 1 o'clock call, and I'll hopefully know more. But last I knew, the state had not completed the application, and then we'll know more about what it can be used for. But they are saying it will be distributed like Title I funds, but there will be some governor discretion in that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Boyette. Mr. Williams?
All right. Yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in here. I do have a question about the golf scholarship information. Certainly this year, we were able to raise a lot of money without having an event. And to me, that says a lot about the giving heart, the spirit of our community. I haven't checked for myself, but was curious if we have published on our website all of those participants who gave money and donated, folks that we gave folks opportunity to get their money back. And there's a lot of folks and businesses that said, you know what, just give it to the schools. So I want to make sure that we recognize those folks publicly on our website. So I'm not sure if we've done that. So maybe you can address that.
It's a great idea.
Not yet, but we are. But we also do a thank you ad in the newspapers as well to recognize them.
Sure.
Right.
So
Yeah, if we could.
We'll be doing both.
Yeah, I think we do that. Any type of outlet. I just think it was extremely generous for everyone to give that much money without even stepping 1 foot to an event. And
Right.
so that we certainly need to recognize those folks.
And we also send thank you cards to everyone as well. So I mean,
Sure.
every individual got a thank you card. But
there's a lot of folks that have businesses out there, and a lot of those businesses right now are closed.
Yep.
And this is a way that we can share information to the community about those businesses to say, hey, these are the folks who supported our schools, and we need to make sure that we support them in return when we start getting back to a level of reopening. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely.
Also, too, as Ms. Boyette stated, I do look forward to the contingency plans for the district in regards to the what ifs, the what happens. I think a lot of folks are excited about reopening a lot of different ways, but I don't hear a lot about, well, what happens if there's another outbreak? And so I think we need to continue to talk about that and create some awareness. We certainly need to pay attention to what our legislature is doing. There are 67 school districts in the state of Florida, so we're not alone. We've got help on strategies and planning, so I'm looking forward to that. Because Mr. Shirley, you're right. I mean, there's a good possibility this is going to happen. And we need to be prepared for that. And the parents and the students need to have the confidence in us that we will have a plan for that. And I believe that we have been the leaders since the beginning, ever since the spring break. And I think we'll continue to be that with your leadership and the team. So I'm looking forward to that. And we've certainly learned a lot about what we're capable of as a community, as a school district. And I want to thank all of the teachers out there personally who have continued to do the the distance learning. The word social is like a second language now. We say social and everything, but the distance learning is incredible. And all the teachers that are out there, they're continuing to do the necessary job. Certainly the parents out there who are learning about what it's like to be a teacher. And we can't forget about the students who are certainly working very hard to continue their studies and everything. So it's a community effort. And so we certainly appreciate that. So I just want to say thank you for all that. That's all I have.
Thank you. And Ms. Mads, interrupt for a second, Ms. North.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have to tell you a quick story. At Walmart the other day, I had a parent come up and I didn't know really how to handle it. She looked me in the eye and said, "Your teachers are a bunch of liars."
Oh.
And I thought, uh-oh, here we go. And then she said, "For all these years, they've told me that my son was a pleasure to teach. They lied." I thought you all would enjoy that.
I would say, at least, the discipline's certainly down at school, but it probably up at home. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Joyner? You're muted. You need to unmute.
It is now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to say, yes, I agree with Mr. Williams as far as thanking all of the donors at this point. They had signed up to do something wonderful for our students and didn't get to step out there to play golf. So I know the thank you notes and everything, and I would say maybe venture out to some of the other media sources. I know there's a lot of things on like the cable news sources and the radio stations that are thanking people that are local heroes and to our kids in Sumter County. These aren't frontline workers or teachers, but they're helping get those students to college and off in a good way. So maybe that would be an opportunity for us to share as well. And other places that some people don't normally, maybe get a newspaper or, go online, but they may turn their TV on and it comes onto that cable news so they can see that these people stepped up for the students of Sumter County and didn't play a round of golf. So social distancing, distance learning, yes, it's an adventure, and hopefully we will be showing others how to do it as we have so far. I know that there's been a lot of questions around and people haven't quite known what to do, and I am very grateful for Mr. Shirley and the staff of Sumter County Schools for everything that they have done to help our students and our teachers continue learning for all of our students. So just a thank you to everyone for going above and beyond and finding technical abilities that they didn't know that they had. So thank you to everyone, and that's all I have.
Thank you. And thank you for all the board members for their nice comments and concerns. And I also want to thank everybody for the hard work and unusual circumstances that we've gone through. And the parents that are home, I think they're going to have a whole, I think I said this last time, a whole different idea about a teacher. I think they're going to respect even more how difficult the job really is. And I just went, this is just the thing that came to my mind. I just went to Walmart before I came here, and there was not one, I just happened to walk by, there was not one adult bicycle for sale. They were all gone. So maybe we'll have some physically fit parents out there too. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for the board meeting tonight, and I can't wait for graduation. I know it's going to be special, however it can be, and I hope the celebrations are going to be able to be had in some way or another. So we'll see you then, and I also have to remind you of the next meeting will be June 16th.
And Ms. Morris, just a reminder, the School Boards Association, that appointment for the Legislative Committee, that's something that will be handled done from then through you all. And so when you get that, it's important that you get it back in, because I think it's due May 22nd.
It is. The nominations are closed on Friday at 5 o'clock on May 22nd.
So do we, just as an idea before we adjourn, do we have a board member or two that are going to
accept that,
serve in that role?
Volunteer for that. So they can think about it and maybe get back.
You can't think long.
Somehow I'm not sure on the communication about it. So does someone have that email that they can forward to me? And are we saying we need one board member and then one person from Pasco County? So we need one or two people from Sumter.
Yeah. Marla just sent it to you.
Board member and an alternate.
Yeah. We need a director and then an alternate. And then Pasco will be the alternate and we will be the director.
Correct.
Sumter County will be the director for the FSBA school boards. What is it?
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Sorry. Yes, go ahead, David.
I think it's a 2-year term, and 4 years ago I was our representative when Pasco was the alternate, and then after 2 years Pasco does it. So now it's our turn to be the lead, and Pasco will be the alternate. Right. Just throwing it out.
Okay. And like I said, she told me that there's usually just like a couple meetings a year. So that's some idea of what you might be volunteering.
Are the meetings in Tampa and Tallahassee?
I'm not sure.
There is a schedule.
Where were they?
Well, it depends. They're when I was on the board there, I want to say 3 to 4 meetings maximum, but there were some different meetings they had. They may have changed that since I've participated. My suggestion would be maybe the next day or two, just look at the website or contact Andrea there at the FSBA, have a conversation to see what's all entailed. But we do visit. There were some events where all the directors got together, but they may have limited that now to just 2 times a year. But it's not a lot involved, but it's good to see what the other directors are doing within the 67 districts.
Right. And on this paper, on this email, it has to contact Patricia Peterson. She's the member services specialist. So she has a phone number on the email that you got. So you can call her and ask her what it's all about too, and get some clear directions on that.
Just to be clear, this one kind of bypasses the district, so it's kind of up to board members to internally figure out how you want to handle that, since it's the School Boards Association. So anyway, it's somebody's turn in the barrel. You all just need to figure out who.
Right.
I would volunteer if it's the 2 times a year, and I believe it is typically has coincided with our FSBA. So if that is an agreement with everyone, and I can contact Ms. Peterson and find out some more information.
Okay.
Ms. Boyette, if you're interested, that's fine with me either way, but I would be happy to volunteer.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan. I don't hear Miss Moss. Miss Moss, are you
Yeah,
volunteering in the background?
I'm here. It sounds good to me too.
Okay, if there's no other business, I guess we'll have a motion to adjourn.
Thank you
Move
all.
to adjourn.
It's been a pleasure.
Move to adjourn by David Williams.
Mr. Williams' motion,
Second by Kathy Joyner.
and Ms. Joyner. All those in favor?
Sally Moss, yes.
Yes, Jennifer Boyette.
Yes, David Williams.
Bye.
Yes, Kathy Joyner.
Motion passes, and we'll see you again.
Have a wonderful
Bye.
weekend.
Have a good
Bye.
weekend. Thank you. Have a good
Bye-bye.
Memorial Day. We are adjourned at 6:33 PM.
Take care.
Thank you. Okay, there's that information.